Alright, so we'll just show you a video of how we make some of this art. We've got we just twirling it around a little bit. We'll skip forward, going on to another one, trying to work out how to obviously adjust his head, get a nice colour and shape on it. And then we take that over to Glitch Lab, and then we play around different funkiness just to get an idea of what we can get out of the image. So we started off with a bit of photography and moved the head, and then basically turned it, tried it in different ways, different colours, and then we'll later on possibly unattach the head at one of these earlier phases, and then place him on another figure to make an image that I basically saw in my dreams. Somewhere along here there's a similar bit, but yeah, that's just one aspect of what I do with my art, how I make it, using Glitch Lab and Mirror Lab. They're two, well, it's just Mirror, they're apps. So this is just me trying out a skull, what sort of colours I could get out of it, how it comes out, if there's different imagery that I can then use later to configure other art pieces. Obviously taking a video I can see a whole range of what's colours, what schemes, if it's a piece of art that needs something on a similar note I can use this and drop it in. This is just me where I used an app to see what it looked like on a wall. Here's a video of basically a load of art that I put on AIRNFT. These are from people's gardens, various places, and one of them did have a music soundtrack, but I think that's cancelled out for obvious reasons on recording. It was just a piece of music I'd produced. So yeah, here we go, we're scrolling through. So there's my AIRNFT token NFTs. These are my snails. Number one's priced higher. The pricing ranges randomly up and down as my mood changed, how I felt. I was trying to keep them low, but with a lot of writing stories and poetry and trying to entertain people just to get some response, I went a little bit overboard and sort of went down the wrong road. But anyway, what happens now is that we get to the earlier pieces that started off my whole project of actually trying to make the later art. We coming up, this piece here that was just in the ice was the first image that I took as photography, and then all these later bits, they come when the story got a little bit more dramatic as such. So these ones were done as a sort of telling a story. The snails were just to try produce some cheap art that people would buy, because I could do a number of them with unique poetry in each piece as metadata. I've added some extra pieces to the story of the scales, which tells tales of commerce. As you can see, bartering system. We have the rose, which just gone past, and then we've got these ice worlds, which this image here was the first one that set me off, just thinking I could make some proper art. These first roses were just me cataloguing my nature artwork, things that I liked. These were obviously my ice worlds, which were to me actually conceived as art from nature. And then this rose I saw out my window and it was lit up like that, and it just set me off on a little bit of a story of making some scales to tell a bartering system, and obviously exchanging fruit for coal as a goal now. As I wrote more of the story, these tales led to him eating a magic mushroom and going on a trip, where he discovered death comes quickly in fairy lands, and the scales disappear and we get fairies, because he decides not to go over the bridge into the darkness. He wants to see the fairies, so he comes and sees the fairies, and somehow magically everything I write becomes a rhyme, and if I try I can rhyme out loud. So we have these snails anyway. They're for my fails. If we can beat the whales, that's the part of the tales. Here are just the buy an AIRNFT tokens. You get 2 NFTs. So this is the storyteller, the nice enough fella. He's a foreteller, and we've got the power of the flow of all the things that can come and go and grow. But these are just some videos, and if you want to see, there's me making a fire. I did do a lot of TikTok videos, but most of them are deleted, because I didn't like them. There's a monster in its cage that's still on the stage, and a mad enough clown, and my fire of desire, and lots of angry faces and lots of attempts. Yes, and then we have a series of my artworks, latest stuff. The scales are going through a time vortex that opened up and has taken the traveller on a journey too. This is a mixture of stuff, so I'll have to switch to another bit if I can get to it. I need to go. So in Glitch Lab, we've got the story, we've got skulls and lots of random things. Oh, we've got, Ephraim bot, which that's the first generation, because it's gold and that. And there'll be a Bitcoin bot, but I need to change what I use later on. I've done all of this off my phone using free apps to just get me started, and then I want to invest in the proper software to make the more detailed, better art that I envisage. So far it's a lot of copy and paste and drop, so I can add fiery skies from the photography I take. I basically take pictures of everything as I'm out and about. So this is the swan on the local park, and these were mushrooms from a lawn before it was mowed. I'm a gardener by profession, so I just spend all the time outdoors. The only time I've this year basically gone out into town, I saw a bit of graffiti, so I utilised the building to start making other pieces of artwork which are elsewhere. Every time I see a spider, I try different colours. This wasp was eating a spider that happened to have a face on it, in my opinion, a little artist's face. And spider webs, obviously. The spider, obviously, before it's been changed colour wise, being eaten by a wasp, and you notice it's a yellow and black spider, which you don't often see. And you can see he's not got a face, he's just got, well, he's got a face, but it's not the face that I see in the image. It's just 3 eyes as a set of all of his eyes, and he's well and truly getting hugged by a wasp there. So that created a story of the war between the wasps and the spiders, which isn't the same as the traveller and his set of scales that suddenly becomes a time unraveller. So there's a lot of images I haven't used, and possibly have just delete at some point, but this is documenting it for a later date. This is what I use as my new tag. That was my old tag. There's some just backgrounds. I do a lot of backgrounds for later stuff. These are an attempt at making some fairies. I need to obviously draw in detail, so I'm not going to use them until a later date. But I've got a whole load of series of different ones for different ideas that I've got going on. These are little worlds that I've started to create. They're made off leaves with these are basically wasp galls. They're clumped up so that these look like little pods, and I obviously aim to work it into my artwork, because I'm not 100% happy with the overall look, but adding to it is what I'd like to do, build it and layer it up. But again, I'm still just using it on my phone. All of this basically, I started in August, so I know that's a problem with the time scale, but I've basically been a gardener for 12 years and worked for over probably 20 artists. I own a lot of artwork of several of them, and there's lots of guidance and help that I've been getting. This year I decided to obviously turn my photography into artwork, because this little red lily beetle obviously is red normally, and I just felt a change of colour and stuff. We've got crab spiders. So this one was I could find the original image if you like, but as you can see I've got multiples. And then we've got shields that I've got to work on, I think I've done something similar to that I've put all ready to go, which dragonfly, obviously. We've got shield bugs. These are things I've been trying out. That's a spider in a cup. I'm just trying to make a scene, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. The images aren't always as good as I'd like. This one, I want to make that an alien in the green spot there, and make that another one there, and turn this into a spaceship round the top on top of that and that. They're in sort of a spaceship, and then put a skull here. But it's all some of the things that I like to do. This, I put a tag on it because I loved it. The concept of it being in the dark, it's in the void. It's art that's the traveller's clutching onto these things to keep his mind, because when he fell into the timeline, his mind unwound. The storyteller, obviously a nice enough fella. This is a cricket, and obviously these are just characters in the story. So there's slugs and bugs that are thugs, and then there's insects and bees that help along with the trees, and then we've got the nice fairies. So there's a load of them that pop up basically in the story. I liked the colour schemes that they came out with. These are just from customers' gardens, some of them artists that all know that this is a project that I've been doing. This is one garden that I'm working in. All of these I wasn't working in at the beginning of the year. I basically I lost my job and I found all these wonderful places to work. This steam train was basically when I was driving to my mum's or my nan's to do some gardening, some of my oldest customers basically, and saw this, and because I support steampunk, who's on OpenSea and not AIRNFT, I wanted to send him some steampunk sort of ideas, just to inspire and help any other artists that helped me get through the process of trying to work out what I needed to do and what art I should try make. So these wasps, they're twin sisters, and they end up in the War of the Wasps and Spiders. So that's not in the story of the Traveller. This image got used in a picture called Death Comes Quickly, which made me suddenly have an awakening moment, because I'd spent 2 weeks not sleeping, writing poetry and writing poems and flowets, and spending 99% of my time online from the moment I got home from work till quite late. So my mind went a little bit ratty, and I've become erratic and a bit mental, and was producing more and more stuff and going a little bit crazy about it. And it was sort of an eye-opener, an exploration. I was just initially testing out what basically crypto was doing in digital age in the future. I was only going to do some roses. If I sold a few, I might carry on. But then I fell in love with the artwork I could create, and I just wanted to make more and more. I couldn't stop myself making more. I just endlessly kept on turning out more and more pieces, different, wonderful, just using my photography, and just carried on turning out different items. Not many people get to see that when they've at work doing a day's work. I wanted to share what I get to see on a regular. It's just a mushroom. I'd never seen one that looked quite like that. I've got photos of many more other mushrooms basically. If I can get out of this one, I might be able to show you them as well. But yeah, it's a lot of this, that and the other of what I've done over time. And yeah, I've got photos. Where can I find photos? That's terrible. So I use also Adobe Photoshop to put the images, layer them up, so that's where I've got the red sky from an earlier picture. There's the side bit, and just mushroom images. Obviously with the right apps and stuff, I can then finish off texturing this. This is not finished yet. Like I said, I was doing this all for free because I honestly didn't have the money to have done as much as I'd done. I tried to create a gallery that goes off into space, so I'm lining the walls, adding it. That was just something that I was starting, an idea which I shared with all the other artists that I worked with, as a collaboration of just trying to help each other, which, for your information, didn't really work massively, other than some were really supportive, but they're only in ways that you would expect behind closed doors. They don't want to give too many other people too much credit, because they want to look like they're the biggest and the best, which is fine, because I reckon T-Rex is probably the biggest and the best. He'll probably win the world's strongest man. But yeah, ignore that, because I was saying that I was trying, but I did meet him and he was actually a lovely guy. And one person followed me from the event wearing the t-shirt, so my idea just to see if I could spread MGBM artworks about. This is just one image that I've yet to fully decide what to do with, adding Green Moon. It belongs to a story of the Black Terror Hawk and its captain, which I wanted to call Captain Jet Black, but I've had several people say it's not a good name, so I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot more to my artwork to see and explore if you look on and on. I basically just produce a lot. A lot of it I don't end up using. I've put a various amount on social media just to get feelers. Some of it obviously I wouldn't use. Other bits I'd used at the time and maybe not. This is a different artist, so that's not mine. That's Brian Canello, who's made these awesome ones, which I only took a Photoshop of, and then obviously they're for the fact that I wouldn't use them obviously other than to promote him as the artist. They're called Veronica. They're on OpenSea. I'd definitely go try buy, but you'd be lucky because they pretty much, I think he's fully booked, making orders for next forever, possibly, because he's not stopped selling since I saw the first one. And he's a very nice guy. He keeps on offering to do one for me to obviously so I can buy, which I would, if I could afford one. Would have bought one on day one, really, to be fair. And there's other artists. There's a lot of other artists that seeing their artwork, seeing what they produce, which in turn you get input like this. You can't. Yeah, this is from an image that's basically of go to the edge. The edging is made up of a load of flies, basically. They've all died. They were basically collected in a beer can with some slugs. So the slugs and the flies, all the fugs, basically, they died. And due to one beer can, I could then produce a fractal artwork with this particular colour scheme with the border that's on it. Again, because to me, even though I love some of it, obviously it's pixelated and it needs touching up and painting over, basically. So some of these I might print out and actually turn into real artwork, because it's really good framework for me to work from and make what I class for some of my fans what they've demanded. A lot of people are still skeptical of NFTs and the digital market, so to me it's foolproof. It's safer than a volatile market. If you find an artist that you know and love, who can produce piece after piece and build a name, build up into a brand that actually might be seen and recognised across more than one land, and have a good following, which I'm aiming to double and double. At the moment, obviously, I'm just focusing on which way I'm going with this 2-year roadmap. And these are spider that's I managed to get so it's double bodied, but I also made a ring of 12 spiders. This just all sorts of things that I can do, that if I can get the right cut and pasting going together, I can put what I need to other things and just keep on working through which ways and what works well. And to me, it's crazy how much you can make and produce these days. I got carried away, but I've got back to my story. I'm just going to write my story, finish my first story, and then work from there. I'll keep on trying, and I'm hopefully going to become a better writer through doing all of this, and hopefully end up, there we go, turning more of my artworks and photography. Obviously I see fly agaric mushrooms, wouldn't eat them because I think they're highly poisonous. There's a whole lot of elements and things. Obviously, anytime go anywhere with trees that are different to in the UK, I take photographs, and any interest in vehicles I collect for ideas for my photography. I believe obviously art should come from around the world that's around us and our experiences. So a lot of it is picked out from that. I work in lots of different gardens, so I'm here, there and everywhere. And I get to see caterpillars. These are slugs, ironically, in the kitchen. Mushrooms all the time. So I use and try different aspects of how I can use stuff to combine it. Again, obviously I'm very fresh and new to this, so I'm just starting out, and I just like the effects that I can get, because this is where the traveller's been going around, flying around, being crazy, as I was losing my mind, going nuts, basically spilling my guts like I can, just keep going on until it almost becomes a song, some sort of swan song, or some total deliberation where it just drives people a little bit mad, that I've actually carried on talking, or trying to walk them through every sort of situation and what's going on. So yeah, this is obviously the gallery, and it will be built as far as I can get it into the image. These are the wasp and spiders, and like ladybirds, which I haven't done yet. Here's another wasp, but being captured by a spider. That was whilst I was sat outside playing and writing, so you can see it's a wasp. So that'll get one of those images will go into the wall of the wasps and the spiders. We've got funguses. This image was my guardian angel, because I felt I was driven by a force to do more and more and more. I took photographs of everything. Surprisingly lucky that we haven't got disgusting ones. My wife, after I was doing all this, she wasn't very supportive, and then she took these photos for me, and then was quite unsupportive again, and we had almost blew up, and yeah, we won't carry on with that one. My friend sent me this, so I sent it to the other artists, and they sent it on, and Floki's about 3-4 times higher now, last time speaking to them. So it wasn't the art, but it's just that they went and made money as well, from the advice. I tried to obviously share everything that I've done. I've taken lots of pictures. Quite impressed that my kids were doing a game where they make cards and this is their homework and trade them. So already preparing them for the NFT market. So there's the angels, there's the original wasp gulls and their pods. And you can see that they've separated and opened some of them. There's a hole. Got more ladybirds, centipedes. When I tried to run a marathon, ran past this building, which is the National Film Theatre Studios, but NFTs, we'll go with that, won't we, guys? So yeah, more and more. There was the Arnolds where I met T-Rex. There's spiders. There's this corkscrew hazel that we should use at some stage once it's lost all its leaves. This was at a nursing home, which was a day a week, which saved me from the worst year of my life. It turned all the fear of I'd lost my job of 4 days a week with a gardener to have to look and find my own work. So one of the other artists on OpenSea makes pogs, and this there is my emblem logo in the top left. He made it into a pog, and then he started a second collection and did it again, which I want to try buy after All Time High. Some more bugs, caterpillars. So this caterpillar obviously is a nice pretty one. We've got a ladybird larvae before it's bit in saying can pupate. We've got rove beetles and all sorts. Got this horseshoe fungus, big horseshoe fungus, biggest one I've seen basically. Gone off that. Right, so back to the horseshoe fungus. If you're interested, you'll still be watching. If you're not, you're not. So if I can carry on, I'll carry on. Oh, we've gone straight past. So yeah, there's snails and I did a t-shirt which obviously saw me wearing with T-Rex. Some background themes. Trying to take a picture of the moon. I'm going to have to change my camera because I've just used my phone for the whole project. So everything is stored on my phone, which is why I always upload as much as I can. So we've got frogs, we've got certain interesting, like a house leek here, which I've got loads of them growing, but this one was just growing on a slab in moss, so it was a survivor. Moved it into the ground where it'll thrive. More frogs. So I haven't worked out what to do with the frogs. This is a proper crab spider, so it's not even it's not a spider, sorry. I'll have to come back to that. It's pretty cool because it's different. It's got like a woodlouse body and these hair-like legs that twist up and curl around. So that's obviously one of them on my leg. Carry on, where are we going? So we've got all the fairies. The Viking type Norsemen, there were pictures my uncle sent for me to send to a friend who made art club just as a comical thing, but we decided that we wouldn't run with that, obviously. Here's a toad, and there's fly praying, and we've got the scenes, garden scenes. This is more what got made into NFTs. Yeah, this was Death Comes Quickly. So it was deliberately, the dragonfly was the traveller turned into dragonfly, and he had a choice to go one way or another. So a lot of this helped me write a story, and it reminds me which elements and which way I go with it. There's just all the more caterpillars to use, some vehicles as inspiration, some face masks as inspiration, and this all here is a catalogue of stuff that's not been used that I want to use, some of it. I've got geckos, and the scales, there's a whole story that I'm going to have to finish. It was the whole reason why I started and what I was doing. My little girls, which trying to not put on videos anywhere, not really want to it's their choice what they do. So this is the traveller, this is Scales, his head friend here, and the story of how basically commerce works, how it has and will, sort of thing. So it goes all along the timeline. Just pictures of dragonflies. Obviously I have to take as many as I can to find one where I actually get much more clarity and capture the wings, and then work in how I want it to look, present it. And yeah, I spend a lot of time on this. So I've got butterflies and all sorts, but my scales are what drive me to keep doing what I'm doing. Till I finish this story, I won't start another one again because I've started a lot. Anyway, hope anyone's watched all of that and they enjoyed some of it, and it's just a little bit of insight of how I make my art and how